300 years ago, a catastrophe called the Great Flood fills the land with water, except for a few islands. Ever since, there's an electrical storm that's always in the way. The old world is submerged and the survivors construct a fortified city called Argos on the ruins of the old world, which is ruled by the immortal founders. Sadly, not all can relocate to Argos. The founders take advantage of people's desperation by forcing them to participate in speedboat races known as storm riding. 2 riders are sent from each island and the winner is allowed to take all the people of the island with him to Argos. The losers have their island plundered and their people are thrown into the sea. Islanders are convinced that one day a selected rider will release them. Then he goes to help the team that is in charge of the boat that will represent the island in the next race, and all the posters and catchy advertisements from Argos promoting the race and even offering sponsorship. His friend Anna presents him with a series of Hammerhead posters and tells him the story. Legend has it that Hammerhead was hit by lightning, saved his island, and never lost a race. Others say that he made it across the storm on the horizon to the other side. Others believe that he occasionally races and crashes, and then wins a palace for all the islanders. Others believe that he is not real. Anna believes this may be Neb and her someday, but her father Lazar tells them that they don't need legends, they have him. He says goodbye to his daughter and kisses a photo of his late wife before getting ready for the race. One of the mechanics reminds him that once he gets to Neptune's rock, he'll only have 10 seconds to break away. It turns out Lazar isn't participating to win. He desires to break through the storm and find out the truth. A commentator on Argos introduces the riders, calling Fig Island the underdog before the race finally begins. All the riders handle their boats with impressive skill, and one of them even manages to catch some lightning, which provides quite a boost and pushes the boat into first place. Another rider's cape accidentally covers his vision and causes him to crash into a rock. When a rider tries to move past the boat in first place, the maneuver fails and it ends up crashing. Lazar leaves the race as soon as there is a gap and heads the boat toward the storm on the horizon. According to the commentator, this is the 5th such occurrence this season. Lazar speeds up and tries his best to avoid the lightning, but unfortunately the boat is hit anyway and it explodes. As Anna hears the news on the radio, she cries and swears to take revenge for her father. The commentator says that Fig Island will be off the race course for 10 years. After a few days, Neb presents in class about the islands beyond the horizon, claiming that there are titans living there. His teacher scolds him and reminds him that there's nothing on the other side of the storm. Then a child teases him. When Anna comes to his defense, she gets scolded. The founders throw objects at him, but Neb insists that the storm is a light. After class, a teacher talks to Neb's father Nicola, asking him to do something about his son's behavior. On that night, Neb is atop a tree as a raging storm rages in the sky. Anna begs him to come down, but he refuses. Suddenly, a lightning bolt strikes the tree and Neb, who falls to the ground with smoke emanating from him as he thinks he can finally be like Hammerhead. On the island of CEOs, guards take over the streets to start the eviction since both CEOs' riders died in the race. The Baroness, a high-ranking Argos official, watches all of them as the guards beat the locals into the boats. After everyone is kicked out, the founders send machines to start digging. They're looking for a substance they call the element, which is set to defy death itself. On Fig, Neb is still in bed suffering from his injuries. Desperate to help him, his grandfather Dida decided to do something he swore to never do again. With an axe, he slashes a tree's branch and gathers the blue liquid that comes out of it. Then he puts this liquid on Neb's eyes, causing him to have a vision of Hammerhead sailing into the storm. Neb's eyes also turn stormy. When the excavation is done, the Baroness informs the founders that they didn't find anything. It is discovered that the element is the blue liquid Dida used, and that they have only 10 years of supply left. The founders think it's time to take all the other islands by force, but the Baroness says that if all the islanders put together outnumber the Argos army, then she thinks it's time to accept their fate, and uses the phrase amor fati, which means that both good and bad things are necessary in life. But leader Terras doesn't agree and claims he makes his own fate. He also reprimands her for her use of that expression, since it was used by the infamous thief, Sikas. Terras decides they need to make the races more numerous to clear the islands faster and without any more incidents. Later, Neb gets out of the bed and shows to the window where he sees Hammerhead in a strange tunnel. Neb can't understand his visions, which often come without warning. Meanwhile, a group of guards are diving and discovers a vessel sunk. They inform Terras that they found Sika's wreckage in the Bay of Gaia, so Terras sends soldiers to the islands in the area hoping that he's still around. Meanwhile, Dida tells Nicola that he has spotted the Baroness flag on the coast, and that she is on her way to get Neb. Anna and Neb take a boat to the Bay of Gaia, despite Dita's repeated warnings to his grandson not to go there because of rumors of the wreckage. After admiring an amazing statue, they look underwater and see the guards inspecting the wreckage. When the kids try to leave, a guard captures them and takes them to the Baroness. While the duo pretends their boat ran dry and got lost, a soldier smells Anna's hair and concludes they're from Fig. As she gazes into Neb's eyes, the Baroness tells him that she is searching for a boy who was affected by the storm. Then she says she will take the children home and explains what a wonderful life is in Argos. She also states that the storm has touched those affected by it and they can see through the cracks of time and their own fates. The Baroness gives Anna a compass, telling her that conquering her own fears has a great impact. The Baroness leaves the children on Fig and tells them that Neb isn't a farm boy, but a writer, and that a sponsor will be there for him when he is grown. Afterward, Dita tells the kids that he planted his tree the day Neb was born and it contained Sika's the last Titan, so they have a special bond. In Argos, Terras meets his scientist, who has succeeded in replicating a key. He puts it on his wrist and uses it to activate a machine remotely, saying he'll bring a bigger storm. The lights are illuminated for several seconds and then the machine loses the connection and shuts down. Furious, Terras throws the scientist off the tower. In the meantime, Dita makes a hole in the wall and pulls out a box that he had hidden many years ago. He gazes at the original machine key and imagines his younger self coming to the island. After 10 years, Anna and Neb are in a romance. Neb has to deal with his visions on a daily basis, but he still doesn't know what they mean. He tells Anna that one vision is of her on Gaia wearing a red dress, so she replies by whispering a promise in his ear. Since this year the ban ends, Anna is practicing to join the race. Neb admits he's afraid of losing her and Dita asks him what he's seen in his visions, but Neb refuses to answer. During a storm, Neb desperately attempts to go back to the tree but Dita stops him, killing her. One morning, the Baroness comes back to Fig, and Dita spits on the floor when he sees the Baroness. He tells Neb that he shouldn't ride, but the Baroness says that it's up to him to decide and offers him 1 year to consider her sponsorship. Finally, Neb decides to run for the election only to save Anna and Nicola assists him on the boat. Until now, all those who were expelled from their islands and have live in the landless sea. Their kids were born in boats and never set foot on land. They can do nothing but watch as the machines continue to destroy the land from island to island without finding anything. All the selected riders are given a chance to enter Argos after months of preparations and given an orientation talk by Larry. They're reminded of the rules and the fact that compasses won't work near the storm, not to mention they'll be fighting inertia. During the meeting, Anna convinces Neb to ride with her to the storm and they kiss to keep their promise, while at the same time Terras selects a powerful warrior to be a bomb head, the name given to the riders who kill for the founders in the races. Terras tells him to start with the riders from Fig. The race starts in the afternoon. Anna and Neb are so desperate to claim their island's name that they immediately take the first place. The race proceeds as usual for a few minutes, but then Bomb heads his boat toward an opponent's boat and sinks it. The race is resumed as before for a few more moments and Anna remains in first place. As they approach the end, Bombhead attacks once again, but misses Anna as she is moving quickly, and instead he wrecks another boat. Anna spots an opening and exits the race and begins to ride toward the storm. Both Neb and Bombhead chase her, and when they get close to the storm, surprisingly, Hammerhead joins them. Suddenly a lightning bolt strikes Hammerhead's boat and he vanishes, as he has a vision that only Neb has. Anna is approaching the storm and Bomb accelerates and collides with her boat. Neb wakes up from his vision too late and is saddened to see his girlfriend drowning. He dips into the water and starts to swim towards her, but Bombhead passes him and slaps him. For a few seconds, Neb floats without control while seeing the vision of Anna in the red dress. At the same time, Terras is terrified to have a vision of Hammerhead appearing next to him. After the race, Neb is thrown into a cell. Overwhelmed with grief and guilt, he has a breakdown on the floor and can't differentiate his visions from his memories. Larry visits Neb and shares that when he was younger, he agreed to be a Bombhead, but he also mysteriously says that his people never needed saving. Then Neb meets with the Baroness, who tells him a story. The members of Operation Titan, many years ago, after the world was flooded, went to search the oceans for hope of life. Eventually, they discovered this archipelago where the islanders thought they were safe from the goddess Gaia's blood. The founders changed its name to the element and created Argos, a place where they could use the element to become immortal. Terras used the technology meant to save an endangered environment to make the storm that kept the islands trapped. He then started to dig to have an endless amount of the element for himself, so the islands were getting crushed and drained. This was too much for Sycus and he stole the key before he fled. He was unable to cross the storm and found himself on Fig, where he became Dita and began a new life. After the story, the Baroness gives Neb the compass she retrieved from Anna's body and sends him home. In Fig, Neb challenges Dita for all the lies, but Dita says he did it to protect him, but Neb doesn't listen. Later, Neb buries a tree in Anna's name. Then he talks to Nicola, who explains that Dita often disappeared but never told him anything. What Dita taught him was how to be a part of the storm. In the middle, there is a dancing bolt which supposedly can transport any person to the other side, but Nicola was never able to catch it. Neb believes that Hammerhead caught it and he wants to try, due to his visions. Dita gives Nicola the key and tells him about the phrase Amor Fati, as he has told his father that Neb is ready. Neb takes Anna's tree away before leaving. In the meantime, the Baroness tells Terras that the production of crops has been decreasing and that hunger breeds revolution. It's already been taken care of, but Terras isn't pleased with her challenging his authority. In Argos, Neb is waiting for the next race, but he finds that it is also a compass, which points towards the Temple of the Founders. While thinking about possible plans, Neb notices Terras staring at him. Later, Nurse Maya assists Terras in taking another dose of the element. Meanwhile, Neb asks Larry to teach him how to catch lightning and Terras tries to be friendly with him. They go out together on the boat and Larry guides Neb on how to use the speed accordingly. Suddenly, Neb has a vision of crashing his boat into Bomb Head, but luckily he wakes up before he actually crashes. Larry tells him he needs to tame his fear or he'll never win. As Neb returns to the city, Maya observes his old scars as they talk. Neb casually tells Maya that the woman he loves is in a tree in his room. Maya then takes him to the temple and asks the priest to help him with his injuries, but they refuse because they believe he's the one who will breach the storm. Neb notices a bunch of plants being drained for the element and decides to leave. Later, on the street, Neb sees the red dress from his visions in a store. When he runs into Bomb Head and grabs him by the shirt, wanting to take his revenge, but they can only fight in the race, Bomb Head runs away. Neb immediately follows him and the chase has them running all over the city until they end up jumping into the water. The men swim to the closest shore and Neb jumps on Bomb Head demanding an explanation. He drowns him a few times until Bomb Head tells him that he promised Terras to protect the storm. Neb lets him live and swears to defeat him in the race. Meanwhile, Maya tells Terras about Neb's tree and that Sycos is hiding on Fig. In his room, Neb is getting desperate to achieve his victory. He has another vision of Anna and then cuts her tree to get to the element. He then goes to see Larry and asks him for his assistance in a plan. The next race starts the next day. Bomb Head doesn't have time to waste and runs into Neb's boat just to taunt him, but for the first part of the race everyone remains calm. Neb is in second place by the time they reach the second stretch and Terras thinks he'll try to go to the storm, but nothing happened. When the lightning bolts are near, Bomb Head accelerates and takes a shortcut to catch up to Neb. Neb leads his boat to catch them before they are too late. The boost propels him forward and he becomes the first. In just a few minutes, he wins the race. Neb is startled by this and immediately turns the boat around and heads for Bomb Head, who will not budge. At the last second, Neb jumps off his boat, so only Bomb Head dies in the resulting explosive crash. No one sees Neb jump, so it's assumed he is dead, as well. The commentator announces that the Fig Islanders won't be allowed to come to Argos as punishment for Neb's actions. Meanwhile, Terras orders his soldiers to surround the Baroness, telling her that she should have told him that Sycos was on Fig, and that the army is going to Fig to search for the Baroness thief. Underwater, Neb meets with Larry, who provides him with diving equipment. Neb swims to the temple following the compass, and then swims into the temple through a secret underwater tunnel. He was surprised to see that all the priests had been knocked out. It seems that the Baroness and her men were there before them and took care of them. When Neb asks who the Hammerhead is, the Baroness removes her contact lenses and reveals she's been having visions. She leads Neb on his own vision so he can see the truth. Throughout, Neb was shown the visions in the future, and Dita and the Baroness told the tales until he was ready to accept his fate. With the boat and gear prepared by Larry, Neb leaves the temple under his new identity. The Baroness returns to the main chamber and finds that Terras has killed all the other founders. An argument breaks out, but Terras is distracted by Hammerhead's sailboat as it sails off. Soon, people are lining up on the city walls to cheer for the legendary hero, but it also means that Bombhead and other soldiers begin to pursue the hero. When the enemy is near, Hammerhead catches lightning on his ship and fires it back at the enemy, killing all of his ships in one shot. Meanwhile, the army begins to fire to begin the destruction of Fig Island. As he whispers a more fatty, Dito watches the destruction. Meanwhile, Hammerhead manages to get into the storm and snatch any lightning that gets too close. Not a single bolt manages to stop him, and soon he makes it to the other side. This is on the radar for Terrace, and he knows that his reign is ending. On the other side, Hammerhead discovers a large island and a building with a machine causing the storm. Using the original key, he turns off the device and the storm finally disappears after years of terror. As citizens celebrate all over Argos, Taurus says a more fatty before jumping to self-delete. Hammerhead is impressed by the clear sky and recalls Anna's promise. She would wear the dress once the storm had passed. Before leaving, he throws the liquid from her tree on the dry ground to reawaken it. The Baroness picked up Anna's body from the sea and brought her back to life using the element, as shown in a flashback. Anna is waiting for Hammerhead at the coast of Gaia in the red dress. Subscribe to watch more videos like this, leave a comment about your favorite movie, and we will make it next. Thanks for watching.